Fields of Mistria has quietly become one of the biggest names in cozy gaming. But is it really worth all the hype? With the 1.0 release just around the corner, I spent over 20 hours exploring every corner of Mistria, and what I found wasn't quite what I expected. There were moments that completely won me over, and moments that seriously tested my patience. So, is this a buy or a pass? Let's find out. Hello, Cozy Gamers. Today we'll be taking a deep dive into the game Fields of Mistria. If you've been hiding under a rock the last 2 years, this is a cozy farming sim where you get to gather resources, farm and mine, of course, meet a gang of cozy characters, and help them improve the town. One of the key factors of this game is that it does involve magic. Now, I have been playing this game for about 20 hours, so this isn't really a first impressions video, but that has allowed me to really find everything that I think works really well, as well as the things that I don't enjoy so much. So, if you're still on the fence about whether this is a buy or a pass, maybe should be removed from your wish list, stick around. All right, let's get these cons out of the way right away. The first one to me is going to be the dialogue. As a tired mom playing in the very late night hours, I need a game that's going to keep me awake. And unfortunately, it took me several attempts to get through this dialogue the first few days of the game. Don't get me wrong, I love that the characters have personality, and I appreciate that the game takes time to develop the town and its residents, but sometimes you start a conversation expecting a quick little exchange, and it feels like minutes later by the time the conversation's over. If you're playing late at night like I am and just have a short window of time, those texts can really feel like a lot. Of course, that won't be a problem if you love getting to know every character and reading all of the extra details, but if you prefer your farming sims to keep the gameplay moving, some of these conversations might feel a little slow. Alright, let's move on to the second con. Don't come after me for this one. I know some people like farming sims but don't actually like the farming, but I am the complete opposite. I love the farming in a farming sim. I have my own garden. I enjoy growing a good crop, alright? So I really felt like this game, the farming was an afterthought. You only start with a few seeds and a very small amount of money, so you can't even buy any more for a little bit until you learn how to make money or get gifted seeds much later in the game. Not a few days later in the game. But I feel like the fact in a game, say Stardew Valley, you start off with your pack of parsnips and like $500 where you can really go and immediately get lots of seeds and get invested in this farm. So I would say it works, it's pleasant, it fits the cozy atmosphere, but it hasn't been the feature I'm most excited to return to every day. For me, the more interesting parts of Fields of Mystery are the characters, the quests, the town progression, and discovering what unlocks next. So if farming is your absolute favorite part of these games like me, you may want something with a deeper or more involved farming system. I still enjoy tending to my farm every day, but more importantly is going to be the quest and getting to know the characters. I think that's just where this game finds its strengths. Next up, we should all know that mining and fishing is delayed in this game. I feel like a lot of other farming sims, you can mine and fish right away. If not the first day, maybe the first 2 days, 3 days. This one, it takes quite a while. So mining you can't unlock until you up your rank level, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And fishing you can't unlock until you either make $500 and want to spend that on a fishing rod. Oh, where's Willie when you when you need him? Or I believe there's also a way to get a fishing rod from mining. Either way, if you are somebody that really leans into the mining and fishing, you should know that there is quite a delay in this game. I do understand why the game introduces things gradually. It gives you time to learn the world and meet the characters before opening up every single system, but I was definitely ready to start collecting more materials and exploring further before those activities became available. It's not a deal breaker for me personally, as I am a farm girl, but it did make it feel a little bit more restrictive than I was expecting. So, good to know. The fourth con: no farm customization, at least not right away. So, unlike other farming sims where you start the game and have to clear out your farm and put your things where you want, maybe you want to have it set up in a specific way for your sprinklers and things. Nope, you start with the plot already there and it stays there until you unlock or buy, the shovel, which is another $500. They think we're balling here, and we started with $50. So, if you're someone who starts a farming sim by planning out your dream layout, placing decorations, and making everything look adorable, you might need to be patient for this one. This game gives you more freedom as you progress, but I did want those customization options earlier as I've just become accustomed to them. I'm still looking forward to decorating my farm. I've seen some lovely farms online, but it would have been nice to have from the beginning. Right now, it just feels like another quest to unlock instead of a blank canvas to make my own. Okay, so con number 5, and this one might just be me. There is no scythe in this game. I'm very used to having a scythe, but even if I didn't have one, what you start with is this worn sword, and for me it's just very clunky. When I'm trying to chop the weeds, it seems very ineffective. Sometimes I'm having to swing all around, and I have 700 hours of Stardew Valley gameplay. I know how to cut weeds, right? Something about this sword does not work properly for me. I don't know what it is, but it's quite irritating. This is not going to stop me from recommending the game, of course, but I just feel like you should know what I didn't know. It's not coming. It's just not coming. While we're talking about tools, let's jump right into the pros. So, one of the things that I really enjoyed about this game is the way that they introduced the tools, surprisingly. In most farming sims, they introduce the tools right away. You already start the game with a watering can, a pickaxe, an axe, a hoe, the basics. This game, you only start with a hoe and a watering can and the little worn sword I was just talking about. The pickaxe, the axe, all of these things either come from quests later or you have to buy them. The most important ones do come from quests, and I just thought that was a really fun way to introduce you to some of the characters. They're not needed right away because you can't really customize the farm very much anyway. You can cut down the rocks and trees and everything, but you get them in enough time to do that. And even though, as I just said, I wish some of the tools were introduced earlier or introduced at all, I really think that this is a cool concept that sets it apart from other farming sims. The second pro for me would be the special events. Specifically, Friday nights at the inn is one of the things that you will get into the very first week. It's kind of like a D&D type game, but literally everybody in the town, I think pretty much everyone, comes to the inn, and you get to see everyone engaged and eating and at the bar, and several of them are around the tables playing this game. You can talk to literally every character and see all the dialogue, see how much fun they're really having with each other. Kind of think about when you're at the tavern in Stardew Valley and they're all kind of dancing or talking to each other at the tables, but you don't really get to hear what they're saying. This is a nice way to drop in and hear the conversation. And it really makes it feel like a real town. It really makes it feel all connected. I really think that this is one of the more enjoyable parts of the game. You really get to learn a lot about each character's personality, what they're drinking, how they're being really quirky and funny with each other. It's a good time. Pro number 3, the child in me loves that you can jump and swim. I am the silliest person in the world. I love games where you can jump. I will sit there jumping from place to place like a little bunny. I love games where you can swim, and this one has both. These might sound like small features, but they make moving around the world feel much nicer and cozier and just more fun. You're not always blocked by tiny obstacles or forced to follow one specific route. Being able to jump around and swim through the water gives exploration a little more freedom, and it makes the world feel more interactive. It's one of those features that you might not think about before playing, but once you have it, if you're anything like me, you start missing it in other games. I think each farming sim has their cool ways that you can get around. Stardew Valley, you can get the horse. You can jump and swim in Animal Crossing. I recently played Possum Resort, and you get this little van. It's really fun to drive around. So this is just some of the cool features that you can look forward to in Fields of Mistria. The next pro would be the town leveling system, which is really different to anything I've seen before. So if you're thinking Stardew Valley where you level up your farming or your foraging, for instance, this is more of an entire town leveling system, which makes everything feel more important. It really makes you feel like you're a part of the community. So you start at the bottom and you're getting renown points for every quest that you do, everything you turn in. And as you build that renown, your ranking improves. You start all the way from wood and you increase through the levels. Your progress isn't only about improving your own farm, you're also helping the wider town develop, and that gives your daily tasks a much bigger purpose. I like having that extra layer of progression because it makes your contributions feel meaningful. You're not just selling crops and earning money for yourself, you're gradually helping Mistria become a better place. It also gives you another reason to keep completing the quests. gathering materials, and checking in with the town. There's always that feeling that your next task might unlock something new, improve an area, or move the town a little bit further. And for me, that is much more motivating than simply watching a number go up in the corner of the screen. I really like to call this my Hallmark Channel Pro. I'm a big Hallmark Channel watcher. And just feeling like you really are invested in this town and you're really invested in helping them overcome their troubles feels good. So, one win. And my last positive will be the overall charm of the game. As I said, major Hallmark vibes. It has a great balance between gameplay, character focused quests, and small discoveries that really make you want to keep playing the game. The game just feels very welcoming and cozy. Even when one of the systems doesn't fully grab me, there's usually another part of the game that pulls me back in. It might be a character quest, a new area, something I want to unlock on my farm, or just a small detail I haven't seen before. This is probably why I've continued to play after the 20 hours. The game isn't relying on just one feature to keep people interested, there's lots of small things working together, and they create a world that feels easy to settle into. So, after around 20 hours, what would be my verdict? I think it's quite obvious. This is a 100% buy recommendation. I really think this game has taken some of the best things from each farming sim or life simulator and put it all into one cozy game. There's farming and mining from Stardew Valley. There's jumping and shaking trees and catching insects in a net from Animal Crossing. All those lovely things contained in one super cozy game. So, if you're looking for a cozy farming sim with charming characters, a strong sense of progression, and plenty of small details to discover, I really think Fields of Mystery is worth picking up. But there is one more thing to consider before you make that choice. On August 5th, the 1.0 update is releasing. So let's get into what is coming. The biggest addition will be romance. Heart levels are increasing to 10, proposal and wedding events, marriage, and children are all being added. There's also going to be a lot more town progression events included, with repair quests, extra requests, new museum rewards, and a higher level renown cap. The town repair storyline will also be completable. So that's my Fields of Mystery, a buy or pass verdict. But what do you think? Are any of these pros or cons makes or breaks for you? Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like more cozy game reviews, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, stay cozy.